but maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
Okay, it seems to be fine. So we're gonna watch a video made by an Akuma player called Rubbish. This individual targets a lot of people here. So this is a 45-minute video, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing. I have not watched the whole thing. I've skimmed and skipped through some parts and looked at some of it. It's pretty interesting, but the general tone of the video I dislike. It's a little bit aggressive. But as you can see, part 5, that's the final part. It's about me, and it's a video I made like a week ago or 2 weeks ago called "This is how Akuma breaks Tekken." And this player, Rubbish, was not happy with the video, so this is his response to me, and I will do sort of, you know, commentary response on his counter arguments, because he felt that I have no idea what I'm talking about, basically. I don't remember exactly what he said, but we're gonna take a look. But as you can see, it's Spag, it's King J, it's to the left there you have Fergus and Mihawk, and he had problems with every one of us saying different things about Akuma. But again, I only have time and patience to look at my part, so we shall do so now. So again, this is based on my video. This is how Akuma breaks Tekken, which I thought was pretty reasonable.
And here I thought I was done after Jay. But like lightning from a clear sky, the main man struck out with his own video, titled "How Akuma Breaks Tekken."
What's up, guys? TheMainManSWE here.
Needless to say,
I love a vest. What a Chad. And honestly, coming back from a hike,
Tekken.
that's what it looked like. Me on a mountain field, but I had a little bit more clothes on because I would have died if I had gone in that fast, although it's pretty sexy.
What's up, guys? TheMainManSWE here.
Needless to say, it was pretty shit and not really worth the watch.
Okay.
But since I'm such a diligent soul, I thought we could together look at a couple of excerpts from the video. To begin with, let's look at the main man's representation of Akuma's 50-50. Because, as he explains,
I'm gonna start by explaining his 50-50 because a lot of people don't understand it.
this seemingly...
I hope you heard that, but that was me saying I'm gonna explain Akuma's 50-50 because a lot of people don't understand it. And a lot of people didn't.
includes the main man himself.
Okay, so I don't understand Akuma's 50-50.
Now, I won't deny that Akuma's mix-up when he has access to 1 meter is strong, but it is generally portrayed as being way stronger than it actually is. To begin with, I would like to reiterate the point about
You really have to downplay your character to say something like that.
3 clean hit is. To begin with, I would like to reiterate the point about down 3 clean hit, which, if you remember, is quite small. This means that in a massive amount of situations, a backdash will be a sufficient defensive option to put you outside of the 50-50's range. Something that cannot really be said for a mix-up like Kazuya's, where not only are you forced to do a less safe option to evade the mix-up in sidewalk over backdash, opening yourself up to other offensive actions, sidewalk also stops working at higher frame advantages. Secondly, even in situations where you feel forced to guard, you can vastly reduce the risk by fussy guarding low into high guard, since while standing 2 will at the absolute fastest come out at I-21 on a frame perfect instant while standing, but will oftentimes be quite a bit slower. Thirdly, while I agree that Akuma being +7 on a guarded or non-clean hit low attempt is strong,
It is ridiculously plus on block.
this means that Akuma no longer has access to the tools that make his offense so strong. You should be happy that Akuma spent a bar that didn't net him a huge hit. After all, it does take Akuma quite a long time to build one.
You know how much I sacrifice?
The next thing in line the main man talks about is the Demon Flip 4 Tech Trap.
Okay, so that was it. Now we're done with the 50-50, okay? I'm immediately terribly confused because you say that I do not understand Akuma's 50-50. But you, at no point here did you point out anything I did not understand. So what exactly did I not understand? I said everything you just said. And you point out the clean hit range, which I mentioned in my video, if my memory serves me. Of course I know about that. So what exactly did I not grasp about Akuma's 50-50? I'm completely confused here.
And then quite respond 7 hard. You can safe option means that in a massive.
And you mentioned the clean hit range. This is your first argument here. And again, it is mentioned in my video. You have to stand close to apply this 50-50. But then you say what? Just backdash.
Situations.
Is that it?
Backdash will be a sufficient defensive option to put you outside of the 50-50.
So this is your big counter to me saying his 50-50 is ridiculously strong with bar, with meter. Your counter is you can backdash this 50-50. That's seriously your argument.
Range. Something that cannot really be said for a mix-up like.
I mean, talk about theory fighting. Certainly, if you're inside your opponent's head, you can see into the future. Oh, I know he's gonna apply a 50-50. Ah, you can backdash, but what if he just runs up and does nothing, or does a throw, does any other move, any other type of pressure while running free, demon flip, whatever. Just backdash is, I don't know, that's kind of living in fantasy land. That's to me like Mishima players who say, you know, a very aggressive Kazuya is coming down on you, and there are even guides on YouTube like, do you know how to counter Mishimas? The Devil Jin? Sidestep into duck. Sidestep right and duck. Okay, but what if he just keeps waving and realigning in your face? What if he runs up and does nothing? It's like...
like Kazuya's, where not only are you forced to do a less safe option to evade the missions, some situations will go into high guard, since while standing 2 will at the absolute fastest come out at I-21 on a frame perfect instant while standing, but will oftentimes be quite a bit slower.
Right, so you can fuzzy guard the mix-up because down 3 is 15 frames and ducking and then doing while standing 2 at fastest, as he says, is 22 frames. Right, but also, and I don't have to tell you, you're the Akuma expert, down 3 can be done from crouch. You don't have to be standing. You can actually crouch down, wait, and then down 3 immediately. So how do you fuzzy guard this? You can't. Because they can apply different timings. They can just run in, duck, and you can try and fuzzy guard like this, but there's no way you're gonna get the mix-up every time. Like.
Thirdly, while I agree that Akuma being +7 on a guarded or non-clean hit low attempt is strong.
Strong? Okay, a 15 frame low that gives you 80 damage without wall if you have bar. And if it's blocked, it's +7. That's strong. Okay.
It is ridiculously plus on block.
And this is where I don't understand. There's this cartoony Shrek effect on my face, like, oh, look at this. He's saying something really dumb here. We gotta Shrek effect it. But what that Shrek main man says is completely true. It is ridiculously plus on block.
This means that
We just agreed on this.
Akuma no longer has access to the tools that make.
And this is your big counter argument as to why this is not good. Well, I've used the bar now I can't do it again. The whole point of my video was basically just to point out how Akuma breaks Tekken. When he has bar, he can do things no one else can do. 10 frame launcher, 12 frame launcher, that's mid. Requires no counter hit. Down 3, 80 damage, unseeable low, that's plus on block, +7. He completely twists the logic of the game. Do you know what that risk reward looks like with that down 3?
Make his offense.
It's like when you
strong.
say,
you should be happy that Akuma spent a bar that didn't net him a huge hit.
that he spent the bar that didn't net him a huge hit. I only got +7. And if it connects, opponent dies from an unseeable low. Oh, you used your meter. Poor Akuma player.
After all, it does take Akuma quite a long time to build one.
You know how much I sacrificed?
You sacrificed nothing! You used your bar to apply a move where if it connects, your opponent dies, and if it doesn't connect, you get +7. What exactly did you sacrifice here? What exactly did you sacrifice? Huge reward, 0 risk. Oh, it didn't work out. I got +7. And you know what your opponent can do? He can low parry that down free. But the risk reward is still in your favor. You get 80 damage without wall. He gets a immediate float low parry. And you know what? If you get low parried, you keep your bar. Your bar is not used. So what exactly did you sacrifice? This is how Akuma breaks Tekken. Yeah, I stand my ground on my argument. If he has bar, he can do absurd things.
The next thing in line the main man talks about is the Demon Flip 4 tech trap, and he here again misrepresents how it works.
He has disgusting moves. And if you tech roll, he has setups to, you know, hit you in the back, either with a Tatsu or with a Demon Flip, re-splat you, just to punish you for tech rolling. It's so unforgiving.
Your analysis is top-notch. A god among insects.
Oh, come on, man, that's harsh. I appreciate the sentiment, but come on, we're not insects, man. We are fellow community members, but thanks for the donation. So again, the Leroy player who had problems with my Leroy video did the same thing. The fact that I can't do something does not mean that that thing does not exist. I'm not an Akuma player. Yes, during that live recording, I dropped that setup many times, but it's because I didn't know how to do it. Once I was corrected, I could do it. Simply doing a tech roll.
So I'm just gonna quickly explain the reality of the situation. So unlike what the main man says, Demon Flip 4, while still a very strong option for tech trapping, is not a catch-all techs kind of deal. How it works is that Akuma gets to pick a tech direction to trap by stepping in the opposite direction to where his opponent is going to roll from his perspective. On top of that, the late tech roll will escape an immediate Demon Flip 4 even if the Akuma guessed correctly on the direction, while an instant tech roll will escape a delayed Demon Flip 4. So no, not at all as binary of an option as the main man purports it to be. The main man then goes on to complain to be.
Okay, Rubbish, thank you for clarifying that. I did not know about that. So it's great to hear how it actually works. So it's actually a two-way mix-up. I did not know that, but I think my point kind of still remains that how risky is this to do? Takes no meter. If you get it correct, your opponent like dies. If you combo them, take them to the wall, and you get this correct, how much are you risking? And how much damage can you gain? You can literally death combo people like this if you just get the correct read. And I think my point, I probably should have clarified this better in my video, but it was more to say that Akuma with walls is the most ridiculous thing you'll ever see in this game. Maybe Eliza can beast him here. But it's basically why, you know, all of the top players you'll watch in tournaments, no one wants to fight Akuma on a stage with walls. Even if your character does well with walls, you don't want to give Akuma walls. It just doesn't work. Oh, you don't want to get this tech catch, so you stay on the ground. He can down free Tatsu you to reset the situation, to force you to stand up. And when you do stand up, that's where he applies his 50-50 at the wall. And it just does enormous amounts of damage at the wall with pretty easy execution. And as we said before, you know, just backdash that unbelievably powerful 50-50. And what happens at the wall? You can't backdash. So my point was more to say that Akuma is one of the most horribly disgusting characters at the wall. And he even has access to these tech catches that flat out kill you if the Akuma guesses correctly. And he doesn't take a big risk doing so. And there's no meter involved. So that was more so the point I was trying to make. But thank you for the information. I learned something.
The main man then goes on to complain about Akuma's focus attack, and I can kind of understand how focus attack seems like this big, mysterious obstacle to deal with.
And then we have the focus attack, which can be cancelled over and over. Like so. So you can bait people. Froze, like every power crush, froze and lows beat this. But you know what happens if this hits. It's basically death.
I've talked about this in the past, so I'm just gonna copy paste myself in here. People like to engage in this like stupid risk reward game versus focus attack for whatever reason. I guess people have a really hard time not pressing while running 2 if they have the button. But so people do like while running 2, or they like do a dash up low. And
I don't want to cover.
Man, that's so
God,
good.
I'm covering Rubbish's
But you don't
face.
really have to do that because Akuma can punish this super hard. I mean, you can dash out of focus whenever, really. So instead of doing this and dying, because the risk reward is almost always going to be in Akuma's favor. So instead of doing that, you can do stuff like push Akuma out of focus attack by dashing into him a bunch. You can really easily just dash and then duck it if he releases it. And Akuma can't block if he does a backdash out of focus. Not to say that it's mega reliable to hunt down the backdash and punish it, but you can do it, and it's pretty low risk. The second thing about this strat or whatever is that you can very easily
guys, please stay classy in the chat. No shit comments regarding transgender or anything like that, please.
Focus attack with down forward ones or jabs, and if he lets it go, you stuck it and launch him, so you get a launch plus the jab damage. That's incredible. That's super good, right? Lovely. What a solution. And I mean, if he forward dashes, you have frame advantage. Obviously, he can block, but I mean, who blocks, right? That's I'm talking about Akuma players. And
again, it seems like the arguments are coming from knowing hindsight. You know, knowing that now the Akuma player will do a focus attack. You don't know he is going to do a focus attack. And you're not going to react that quickly. Oh, focus. Oh, run up to a jab. It's a little bit like theory fighting here, where you know in advance what he's going to do.
Backdashes, you can punish the backdash, as I said earlier. So it's like a win-win-win-win-win strategy versus focus attack.
I was not saying the focus attack was this unbeatable demonic move. I'm just saying that a lot of top Akumas use it from kind of far away. Are you going to go in now? You know, basically, and the Dragunov does a while running too. Absorbs, boom, you're dead. You're just dead. So I'm just saying, if used properly, you know, as a counter, the focus attack, well, literally kills people. You know, that's all I was saying. I'm not saying it's this unbeatable thing, but I'm saying it's a pretty damn strong tool.
The main,
but it's definitely not the worst defender when you're talking about Akuma. And Rubbish has yet to mention the jab, 10-frame jab into launch, which, in my opinion, is one of the stronger points I made in the video.
Man puts forth a trillion other things that are wrong. In fact, most of this video is wrong on some level. But in an effort to not make my own video the longest thing in recorded human history, I'm just gonna cover one more thing. Seeing as the main man bitches so much about down 2,
I'm gonna talk more about... I find that statement to be a little bit disingenuous. If I had said many dumb things, you would have pointed them out immediately. Just to make a strong case for your video and as to why I'm a complete idiot. But you don't. Because you don't mention that other stuff, rather because you say they are wrong, but I think you know that there is an actual factual and objective basis to what I'm saying. And that's why you choose not to mention that stuff. So I think you're being a little bit disingenuous there. Down too soon. And how that move is, I mean, arguably the most busted move in the game.
I figured I would take a note from his own playbook and present a strong move in a total vacuum, just to show you how reflective of reality that really is. I've chosen a move that the main man should be pretty familiar with. Everyone's favorite electric. Hello guys, Rubbish Person Sui here. You know Akuma got his down 2, which is a really good tool, but it's 12 frames and situationally a launcher for 75 damage if you got the execution. Kazuya, this guy, gets at least 76 every single time, and this move is 13 frames quick. That's crazy. What gets even crazier is that he can use this as a 13 frame punisher for moves that got way more pushback, unlike Akuma's down 2. And even though Kazuya got a 13 frame while standing launcher, he can actually do electric at 13 frames from crouching when twin pistons won't reach. So not only is it an incredibly strong block punish, he can even use it as a whiff punisher. It's just incredible how strong they made this move. Now, you could think it's over there, but electric has pretty much the same recovery as Akuma's down 2 on whiff. But unlike Akuma's down 2, that is
I don't know if I'm
-9
being
on
trolled
block,
with this
Kazuya's is an
argument.
insane +5. That is so cheap. It also has a much bigger hitbox in both directions, so stepping isn't even a guaranteed option versus it. Is there anything this move doesn't do? I mean, it's just insane. There's more. If you get hit by Kazuya doing a homing mid or a backswing blow on counter hit, he gets to delete your life bar because electric will launch you as if standing. Did Namco even think about what they were doing with this move? Yes, electric is hard to do, but if you
He
can
saved
do
the
it,
most reasonable argument for
it's
last.
just like power unlike anything else in the game. Now, you tell me. Does it feel like I'm being completely honest here?
Wow, I got
It's
destroyed.
from crouch tool.
And I did have some people reach out to me and say he demolished your arguments. And okay. I don't even know where to start here. How are
Hello,
those
guys.
two moves in any way
Rubbish Person
comparable?
Sui here.
Down,
You know
Akuma's down
Akuma got
2
his
and
down
Kazuya's
2
electric,
for 70.
which he seems to think always comes out at 13 frames. So that's not a normal electric, that's Kazuya's perfect electric. And I do not know a single person who will try to punish hop kicks. For example, he gives this example where he punishes Dragunov's back 1-2 with perfect electric. That's -13. That is insanely fucking hard to do. Every Kazuya I know, and that includes all the top Kazuyas, will back 1-2 there, or down for 4-4, depending on range. And hop kicks, always back 1-2. Doing a 13 frame perfect electric, again, you can't buffer electrics in the guard stun. You have to start inputting it on the exact frame you've recovered from the block stun. And then you have to input all of those inputs, just frame. Forward, neutral, down for 2. So it's insanely hard to do. And I think if an AI played Kazuya and always did it perfectly, you'd probably have the best character in the game in Kazuya. He would be at the top of every tier list. But the thing is, it's not realistic. With Akuma, it's actually realistic to do those death combos reliably. Yeah, there are like, what, 100 Akuma players in Pakistan who have proven that. You can, it's within the realms of human ability. But scoring perfect electrics over and over on block stuns, it's never ever going to happen. That's not within the realm of human, you know, ability. So just step one, you'll never be able to get that at 13 frames. And again, that's a high. Akuma's down 2 is a what? Special mid? Special mid hitbox. That is always 12 frames. Because it has no execution whatsoever. You can just mash down 2. You'll always get it. The proper timing. So on electric, I would say the best players, it's going to be around 13 frames. But most of the time, 14. Sometimes 15. And not experienced Mishima players with Kazuya, it's usually 14 to 16, 17. But the best players, they'll get that 13 once in a while, but not often. Just watch tournaments and see how often they punish hop kicks with electrics. You'll never see it happen. So that's a very, very flawed comparison. And again, like you're comparing a high execution move that has a high hitbox, that has, what, 1 frame of high crushing. You're comparing that to a always 12 frame, no execution, special mid, that always crouches highs. You see, there's a big distinction here in how these two moves can be applied in terms of defensive possibilities, right? And in terms of consistency, there is just no comparison here whatsoever. And let's not mention the fact that Akuma's down 2 can be cancelled into specials. Fireballs, Tatsus, Demon Flip, anything. Are these two moves really that comparable?
5 damage if you got the execution. Kazuya, this guy, gets at least 76 every single time. And this move is 13 frames quick. That's crazy. What gets even crazier is that he can use this as a 13 frame punisher for moves that got way more pushback, unlike Akuma's down 2.
Not
and
realistic
even though Kazuya
whatsoever.
got a 13 frame while standing launcher, he can actually do electric at 13 frames from crouching when twin pistons won't reach.
Good luck. Good luck.
So not only is it an incredibly strong block punish, he can even use it as a whiff punisher. It's just incredible how strong they made this move. Now, you could think it's over there, but electric has pretty much the same...
I'm not going to argue how strong the electric is. I consider it the best move in the game. But Akuma's down 2 is also a contender. Paul's down for 2. The electric is insanely strong. But it's not comparable to down 2. I think those moves are rather different.
Same recovery as Akuma's down 2 on whiff. But unlike Akuma's down 2, that is -9 on block, Kazuya's is an insane +5. That is so cheap. It also has a much bigger hitbox in both directions, so stepping isn't even a guaranteed option versus it. Is there anything this move doesn't do?
I don't understand how you can downplay Akuma's down 2 this much. It's a 12 frame mid that launches. A normal hit. The move is a joke. In Pakistan, they thought that was a bug that was gonna be patched. Oh, this can't be a legit thing. They missed this. This is a bug. That's a 12 frame mid launcher. That's a bug. No, it's here to stay. So again, it's like, well, how can you downplay that move?
I mean, it's just insane. There's more. If you get hit by Kazuya doing a homing mid or a backswing blow on counter...
Yeah, a homing mid, that's -12. And we've talked about this. The point of my video was to say, look what Akuma can do when he has bar. Enormous rewards, no risk. pretty much non-existent risk. That is what we're talking about, and what makes him, in capable hands, a monstrous character that, you know, bends the rules of a game.
Counter hit. He gets to delete your life bar because electric will launch you as if standing. Did Namco even think about what they were doing with this move? Yes, electric is hard to do, but if you can do it, I mean, it's just like power unlike anything else in the game.
Yes, because Kazuya players are running wild in tournaments and online. Oh wait, we're getting completely demolished. I'm not trying to downplay the character. Kazuya is pretty damn strong the way he is right now, but you know, Akuma, it's like, come on, please.
Now, you tell
I
me.
don't see the electric dominating tournaments. However, I see Akuma's down 3 and down 2 doing pretty
Does it feel
well.
like I'm being completely honest here?
Okay, and that was it. So some interesting arguments. I really appreciate the effort. The editing was great. However, quite disrespectful to many people here, including, you know, Spag, King J, Fergus, Mihawk. All of those guys have done a lot for Tekken. You know, try and build the community either by taking part in tournaments, which is very important. If people didn't play in tournaments, you wouldn't see tournaments. And King J busts his ass to give all of us content. I think what they have earned is just a little bit of respect, in my opinion. So, you know, without guys like that, you know, they add value to Tekken. So don't refer to them as idiots. That's just extremely childish to me. And saying they're idiots just because they disagree with you on a character just tells me how you live in your little Akuma bubble and you don't want to get out of it. Anyone saying something about Akuma you disapprove of, it's a big conflict to you and you get personally offended. You have to detach yourself a little bit from your character. And trying to downplay Akuma's 50-50 to me is just like, what? It's, to me, I certainly did not see any strong argument here as to how I did not understand Akuma's 50-50. You said just backdash. That's not very impressive to me in terms of argument. And I noticed that you did not even mention the jab into launch, which is one of the absolute biggest problems with Akuma in terms of changing and breaking Tekken. You have a bar, your opponent can't even afford to be -10 because they will get launched. And that was carefully, you know, not approached by you in your video. Or, you know, being able to interrupt pressure with EXDP, invincible from the very first frame, making it so that people are very hesitant to pressure you when you have meter. You know, it's... I can't say I was terribly impressed by this video, but I do really appreciate the effort. This must have taken a long time to edit, and there were some neat editing effects, so that was really nice to watch. But I did not feel like I was demolished in terms of argumenting from a point of reason. Akuma is completely ridiculous once he has bar. I did not see anything in this video to counter that. But I really appreciate the effort.